Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Having important effects or influence. A meaning that is not expressly stated but can be inferred. Indicate or signify. Commodities, goods or services, bought from a foreign country. The message that is intended or expressed or signified. The import of his announcement was ambiguous. An imported person brought from a foreign country. The lead role was played by an import from Sweden. Bring in from abroad. Transfer, electronic data, into a database or document. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. His decision had depressing consequences for business. Having important effects or influence. Decisions of great consequence are made by the president himself. The outcome of an event especially is relative to an individual. Having important effects or influence. Virtue is of more moment than security. An indefinitely short time. Wait just a moment. A particular point in time. The moment he arrived, the party began. At this time. She is studying at the moment. A turning force produced by an object acting at a distance, or a measure of that force. The nth moment of a distribution is the expected value or the nth power of the deviations from a fixed value. A logical relation between propositions P and Q of the form, if P then Q, if P is true then Q cannot be false. A meaning that is not expressly stated but can be inferred. The expectation was spread both by word and by implication. Something that is inferred, deduced or entailed or implied. His resignation had political implications. An accusation that brings into intimate and usually incriminating connection. A relation implicated by virtue of involvement or close connection, especially an incriminating involvement. He was suspected of implication in several robberies. A meaning that is not expressly stated but can be inferred. The significance of his remark became clear only later. The message that is intended or expressed or signified. The significance of a red traffic light. The quality of being significant. Do not underestimate the significance of nuclear power. Indicate or signify. I'm afraid this spells trouble. A verbal formula believed to have magical force. He whispered a spell as he moved his hands. Write or name the letters that comprise the conventionally accepted form of a word or part of a word. He spelled the word wrong in this letter. A psychological state induced by, or as if induced by, a magical incantation. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. A spell of work. A period of indeterminate length, usually short, marked by some action or condition. A spell of good weather. Orally recite the letters of or give the spelling of. How do you spell this word? Place under a spell. Relieve someone from work by taking a turn. She spelled her husband at the wheel. Take turns working. The workers spell every 4 hours. Commodities, goods or services, bought from a foreign country. The commercial activity of buying and bringing in goods from a foreign country. rich in significance or implication. A meaning look. The message that is intended or expressed or signified. What is the meaning of this sentence? The idea that is intended. What is the meaning of this proverb? The message that is intended or expressed or signified. The signification of Chinese characters. An imported person brought from a foreign country. They are descendants of indentured importees. The property of holding together and retaining its shape. Considerable capital, wealth or income. The idea that is intended. What a communication that is about something is about. The choicest or most essential or most vital part of some idea or experience. A particular kind or species of matter with uniform properties. Shigella is one of the most toxic substances known to man. Material of a particular kind or constitution. The immune response recognizes invading substances. The real physical matter of which a person or thing consists. DNA is the substance of our genes. Used of sums of money, so small in amount as to deserve contempt. Intend to refer to. Yes, I meant you when I complained about people who gossip. Marked by poverty befitting a beggar. A mean hut. Of no value or worth. Denote or connote. Maison means house in French. Have as a logical consequence. The water shortage means that we have to stop taking long showers. Used of persons or behavior, characterized by or indicative of lack of generosity. A mean person. An average of n numbers computed by adding some function of the numbers and dividing by some function of n. Approximating the statistical norm or average or expected value. The mean annual rainfall. Have in mind as a purpose. I mean no harm. Having or showing an ignoble lack of honor or morality. Taking a mean advantage. Mean or intend to express or convey. You never understand what I mean. Characterized by malice. In a mean mood. Destine or designate for a certain purpose. These flowers were meant for you. Excellent. Famous for a mean backhand. Denote or connote. Have in mind as a purpose. Design or destine. She was intended to become the director. Mean or intend to express or convey. What do his words intend? Articles of commerce. Articles of commerce. That which is pleasing or valuable or useful. Weigh the good against the bad. Articles of commerce. With or in a close or intimate relationship. A good friend. Moral excellence or admirableness. There is much good to be found in people. Exerting force or influence. A warranty good for 2 years. Promoting or enhancing well-being. The experience was good for her. Often used as a combining form, in a good or proper or satisfactory manner or to a high standard. Good is a non-standard dialectal variant for well. The baby can walk pretty good. Tending to promote physical well-being, beneficial to health. A good night's sleep. Appealing to the mind. Good music. Of moral excellence. A genuinely good person. Not left to spoil. The meat is still good. In excellent physical condition. Good teeth. Not forged. A good dollar bill. Having the normally expected amount. Gives good measure. Completely and absolutely good is sometimes used informally for thoroughly. We beat him good. Deserving of esteem and respect. Ruined the family's good name. Resulting favorably. It's a good thing that I wasn't there. Having or showing knowledge and skill and aptitude. A good mechanic. Financially safe. A good investment. Most suitable or right for a particular purpose. A good time to plant tomatoes. Agreeable or pleasing. We all had a good time. Benefit. For your own good. Capable of pleasing. Good looks. Generally admired. Good taste. Having desirable or positive qualities, especially those suitable for a thing specified. Good news from the hospital. Morally admirable. Thorough. Had a good workout. What a communication that is about something is about. The state of being contented with your situation in life. He relaxed in sleepy contentedness. The amount that can be contained. What a communication that is about something is about. Satisfied or showing satisfaction with things as they are. A contented smile. The sum or range of what has been perceived, discovered, or learned. Something, a person or object or scene, selected by an artist or photographer for graphic representation. Usually plural, everything that is included in a collection and that is held or included in something. He emptied the contents of his pockets. Make content. I am contented. Satisfy in a limited way. He contented himself with 1 glass of beer per day. The proportion of a substance that is contained in a mixture or alloy, etc. What a communication that is about something is about. A communication, usually brief, that is written or spoken or signaled. He sent a 3-word message. Send a message. Send a message to. She messaged the committee. Send as a message. She messaged the final report by fax. Transfer property or ownership. The will alienate the property to the heirs. Anyone who does not belong in the environment in which they are found. Not contained in or deriving from the essential nature of something. An economic theory alien to the spirit of capitalism. A person who comes from a foreign country. Someone who does not owe allegiance to your country. A form of life assumed to exist outside the Earth or its atmosphere. Being or from or characteristic of another place or part of the world. Alien customs. Someone who is excluded from or is not a member of a group. A person who comes from a foreign country. Someone who does not owe allegiance to your country. A person who comes from a foreign country. Someone who does not owe allegiance to your country. A person who comes from a foreign country. Someone who does not owe allegiance to your country. Engage in the trade of. Commodities offered for sale. Good business depends on having good merchandise. Engage in the trade of. An equal exchange. Steady winds blowing from east to west above and below the equator. They rode the trade winds going west. People who perform a particular kind of skilled work. As they say in the trade. The business given to a commercial establishment by its customers. A particular instance of buying or selling. I had no further trade with him. Turn in as payment or part payment for a purchase. Trade in an old car for a new one. Exchange or give something in exchange for. Do business. Offer for sale as for one's livelihood. The skilled practice of a practical occupation. He learned his trade as an apprentice. Be traded at a certain price or under certain conditions. The stock traded around $20 a share. The commercial exchange, buying and selling on domestic or international markets, of goods and services. Venice was an important center of trade with the East. Transfer from one place or period to another. Transfer somebody to a different position or location of work. The act of moving something from one location to another. Application of a skill learned in one situation to a different but similar situation. Move around. Transfer the packet from his trouser pockets to a pocket in his jacket. Transferring ownership. Change from one vehicle or transportation line to another. The act of transferring something from one form to another. The transfer of the music from record to tape suppressed much of the background noise. Someone who transfers or is transferred from one position to another. The best student was a transfer from LSU. Send from one person or place to another. Lift and reset in another soil or situation. Shift the position or location of, as for business, legal, educational, or military purposes. A ticket that allows a passenger to change conveyances. Cause to change ownership. I transferred my stock holdings to my children. Move from one place to another. Transfer the data. A vaguely specified concern. Several matters to attend to. Have weight. Have import, carry weight. It does not matter much. Some situation or event that is thought about. It is a matter for the police. A problem. Is anything the matter? That which has mass and occupies space. Physicists study both the nature of matter and the forces which govern it. Used with negation, having consequence. They were friends and it was no matter who won the games. Written works, especially in books or magazines. He always took some reading matter with him on the plane. Dire consequences. When the pig ran away, there was hell to pay. Punishment intended as a warning to others. The significance of a story or event. A task assigned for individual study. He did the lesson for today. A unit of instruction. He took driving lessons. The significance of a story or event. The moral of the story is to love thy neighbor. Concerned with principles of right and wrong or conforming to standards of behavior and character based on those principles. Moral sense. Psychological rather than physical or tangible in effect. A moral victory. Conformity with some aesthetic standard of correctness or propriety. A subtle difference in meaning or opinion or attitude.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.